Hey everyone, Dylan here, and yes, I did just forget when a mic picks up. Anyway, welcome to the Raw review. It's been a while since we've done one of these, huh? I'd like to guess like 3 months. I'll get in the review in just 1 second. Gotta get it quote unquote out the way. Like I said, I've been gone for some time. To be honest, it originally started with me getting sick, then I procrastinated, then I got sick, then I procrastinated. And now I'm procrastinating while being sick, and then I decided to do it this week. I got some other things coming up on this channel very soon, so if you get spammed with notifications out of nowhere, yes, I'm still alive. Alright, now that that's out of the way, let's get into the Raw review. So it starts out with a highlight video of last week, where apparently Bobby Lashley basically kills everyone. I might review that episode, but you know, again, that's in the future. Might have a past review, like hour-long episode come out of nowhere. This week starts out in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I didn't get the area because I swear to God, like whatever the stadium was, it sounded like they said the Pfizer form is what I wrote down. Bobby Lashley starts us out with a promo after they recap what happened. So they start off the show by MVP saying that he beat all 3 of those people in the same night, which yeah, he did, but technically there was like a disqualification, so he technically lost one and then won again, but whatever. MVP praises him and his strength and how great he is, you know, that yada yada. And then he also runs down the crowd a little bit to get the heat until Big E comes out. Big E does like a babyface promo about how Lashley did beat them, but he cheated. You can tell throughout this whole thing that Lashley's hurt his lower back, because every now and then it'll show some shots of Lashley and you'll just see him like holding his back, and that makes me cringe because I understand, especially like later on. Also, 2 things to note real quick. He called Big E Little E, which I get it. That's like the WWE joke. He's little, so it's making fun of his masculinity, a little penis. Or like, you know, little muscles, whatever. I like penis better. Wait, shit. And he also refers to MVP as P throughout this show. So if you just hear me say P, yeah, it's just MVP. Lashley ends up running his mouth for a bit, and then he challenges Big E to match against MVP, saying that some MVP said something along the lines of like, oh, well, if Lashley can beat him, then I can beat him last week, or something like that. MVP goes for a swing with his cane when Seth and Kevin Owens come out and attack Lashley. Yet for some reason, Big E comes out to help Lashley after this, but he still fails. And MVP kind of does the whole like do they won't they throughout this whole show, so that's why he didn't do anything. They go back to beating up Lashley until Big E makes the save in, and Lashley does a dominator to Rollins, or as I wrote down, Lashley dominates Rollins, winky face. Okay, so I just noted something, right? It's a small like nitpick, so to speak. But at the end of this, Corey Graves says this line. He says, "The enemy of the enemy is my ally." And I've always heard of it, the enemy of the enemy is my friend. So is this like something I just have said wrong my whole life? I don't know. Show highlighted last 2 weeks. Apparently Doudrop and Bianca have had a rivalry, and you know how this goes. Bianca has promo backstage, says she's gonna beat her, and Doudrop needs to stay in her lane basically. And this is advertised as the final fight between them, but oh, do you smell that? I smell big old steaming pile of bullshit, because this ain't the last time they'll be fighting, trust me. We get to the ring, Doudrop comes out, and God, this whole time I've been gone, I forgot how slow their pacing is with intros. Like, The Undertaker looks like he's freaking just running to the ring, how slow they go nowadays. This match goes through an ad break, and then Bianca lifts up Doudrop for the KOD to win. In case you're new to this show, I'll give you this. Dylan does highlights of WWE and sometimes highlights of AEW. Not because I prefer AEW. Well, let's put it this way. I'm not fanboying one over the other. It's just one is predictable, one you can like highlight through, and the other one's AEW shows. So they then show Finn and Austin Theory over the past couple weeks, and no spoilers in case I do a review. Also, I wrote down no spoilers, so I guess it didn't matter. We see I almost said Austin Fury. Let's try that again. Then we see Austin Theory instead of Fury do a promo backstage on why Vince loves him, basically. He shows promise, blah blah blah, future WWE title shot, blah blah blah. Then Finn comes out, so they're gonna have a match after that break. We came back from the ad break, and all I wrote down was, what the fuck? Supercards still exist? I mean, we are back now, and after an ad, we have the match ends. What? That's a complicated way of saying that. Anyway, Finn wins after hitting the coup de grace. The coup de grace, sorry. Then we have a playback of last week's Miz TV, which no spoilers. Then we come back to Miz is backstage. He ups up at Miz TV with AJ and Amos. And the whole time, Amos and AJ apparently have had this whole, like, Amos hates working with them, but AJ's, like, blowing it off. Like, yeah, whatever, big man. You love working with me, right? And then we get Miz coming out to the ring, and they advertise everyone's going to be on Miz TV after this ad break. Okay, cool. Ad break's over with. I didn't give that any time intentionally. So they come back, and they have insert town name here hype package. That's going to be on a t-shirt, including the ad break thing. For some reason, they show a SmackDown replay, even though we're on Raw. And then in modern times, they're still advertising SmackDown. And then they go advertise the live fight down that Becky and Liv have earlier. Anyway, back to Miz TV. Miz apologizes to his wife and begs her to not talk about this situation on the cutting edge earlier. Then calls out AJ and Amos. He's thanking them for being in the ring when Amos chucks his chair because he didn't want to take a seat. And it was really freaking funny. AJ gets asked, like, how him and Amos are, and basically, like, Miz is just trying to pry them apart, but, like, being sneaky about it. So eventually it gets to the point where AJ starts taking jabs at Miz back about, like, the whole situation with his wife from last week. And then, like, basically they start, like, a back and forth thing, Miz and AJ does, until Amos starts talking trash about AJ, basically. And then AJ gives him crap back because he knows how... Oh, wait, sorry, what? Oh, I read a different line. Let me try that again. So, yeah, AJ and Miz keep on going back and forth, and then eventually Amos is like, yeah, AJ, I kind of hate working with you. And then AJ asks him that just point blank, and I'm getting ahead of myself. And then the Mysterios come out to interrupt that. We have the next match after that break. We come back and have a pretty good match, I guess. I just skipped through this, to be honest. And Amos doesn't tag in at the end. He does that thing where AJ is looking for a tag. He's like, Anyway, Ray, I think Ray rolls him up. One of the Mysterios roll him up, and it's a pinfall. Anyway, after the match is over, AJ calls him a piece of trash and attacks him as he's coming in the ring. He holds his pretty own against him, like pretty good offense. AJ goes for, like, the phenomenal forearm, and then Amos catches him and does this, like, throwing things from the shoulder onto his stomach. So I guess they're done teaming now. Oh no, it's the end of the world. Anyways, Amos gets a mic now, and I think he said, like, he's challenging him to a mic. To what? To a match. Yes, he's challenged him to a mic. They just having a promo off. Alright, anyways. So we transition to what happened last week between Team Riddle and Team Amos. I'm not calling them RK Bro and Alpha Academy. Wait, shit. Also, I said Amos instead of Otis. It's okay, roll with it. Anyway... After that, Orton then comes out by himself, telling Riddle he wants to do this on his own, which is stupid because Alpha Academy are coming out together. I think they're called, right? They're called Alpha Academy, right? That wasn't just Otis, or sorry, that wasn't just Gable and Jordan, right? They're still Alpha Academy, I think. Anyway, Team Otis. This is my thing, right? Like, I haven't watched this in probably about, like, a month. But doesn't this happen a lot where Orton's like, hey, I don't want you to come out, Riddle. Just stay back there. And then ends up getting his ass kicked. By the way, Orton wins the match, barely. And Otis shrubs off 3 RKOs and then plows through Orton as Orton slithers away is what I wrote. But I don't think that's what actually happened. Alright, anyways. We have another highlight of the Lashley stuff earlier, blah, blah, blah. Then come back, and Lashley's just now unpacking his stuff in the locker room, which is weird halfway through the show at this point, I think. And MVP asks him basically if he can trust Big E, and Lashley says he can take them all on. He doesn't care if he can or not, basically. MVP then asks about earlier and kind of is like, hey, Lashley, we're still cool, right? And Lashley was just like, hey, I need a water before my big match. So yeah, they didn't like transition the segment fast enough, and the beginning of Priest songs plays, and I don't know why. Maybe it's just a me thing, but I swear to God, it sounded like just like MVP or Lashley just ripped one off camera or something. Like maybe it's just me, but I swear it sounded like it. Anyway, Priest is in a match with Dolph Ziggler, and I wonder who wins. So come back after the ad break. Apparently there's ad break, and Priest has the advantage until Rude interferes and like makes Priest snap, and he gets counted out. He beats up Rude. Then he tries to beat up Ziggler, but Ziggler runs away. Anyway, Finn has the interview after that and gets beaten up by Theory. So we have an ad break. Then Edge comes out and he does a cutting edge with Maurice. I typed in Myriad. Don't know why. Anyway, come back on and sorry, I typed out come back on and it's me, McMahon Theory. That's my CAW. No one else's OC. It's Mr. McMahon. Theory knocks and Vince tells him to come on in, basically. Austin tries to apologize, explains like he got Finn back though. Vince chuckles and he goes in like Vince mode where he like plays it up at first like, yeah, it's cool, and then he's like, I could fire your ass, like shit like that. Anyway, he says he'll get a rematch next week and he wants to see him do the best he can because he doesn't like losers, basically. Anyway, for some reason, he takes the notepad, like the legal paper he's writing on, takes whatever he just wrote, thinks about erasing it, he tears it off, and I guess he was trying to decide if he wanted to crinkle up that paper and throw it at him. So he then erases the piece of paper, like the writing on the paper that's already torn off, lifts it up, and he goes like blows it in Theory's face. It's like, dude, you could just throw the paper at him. And then he's ho 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 ho. Like, wait a second, Vince McMahon, Santa Claus? Like, what universe? All right, Edge hypes up the crowd as he's coming out. Then he introduces Maurice, and Edge does this thing that like he yags her on to destroy the Miz, but Maurice was like, look, I'm not gonna pretend we're best friends or anything. This was a weird dynamic. Like it worked for what it was, but you can tell there wasn't that much chemistry. Anyway, Maurice builds up this whole thing. Like she's like, oh, I just want a little like thank you, I want a little appreciation from the Miz every now and then, blah blah blah. But Edge is like, yo, I see through this bullshit. You're just trying to prank me so that way he'll come out and sneak attack me. Where are you, Miz? Miz's music hit, he comes from behind, and Miz still gets the best of him because like they're scuffling for a bit, and then Maurice takes her purse and smacks him in the head with it, and then like slaps him, and Miz does skull crushing finale. Then we segment to what happened last week between Team Zelina and Team Rhea, and then we come back and Queen Zelina's coming out. Rhea was already out, and they have a one-on-one match where Rhea ends up winning. Then Big E has some talking segments saying basically, hey Lashley, shut up, we're gonna be on the same page. Or sorry, he tells the interviewer like, hey, shut up, Lashley and I are on the same page. Lashley interrupts to ask him if he can trust him. Then Big E asks him to leave P backstage. Good old P, our friend, which Lashley obliges. Then Liv Morgan comes out, and look, I don't mean to be that guy on the internet, but if I may respectfully say so, that's my girl. Like in a respectful manner, that's my girl. She gonna be number one. And I don't know why they're just now waiting to give her a title shot. I mean, she proved in this that she can do a hell of a promo. Alright, I'm getting ahead of myself though. She came out and they were going to show the fight that they did on the social medias earlier after this ad. Alright, so they come back and they show a fact about Big E. Woo! Anyway, here's a replay of last week of Liv getting her arm broken by Becky. She does a promo on basically what happened last week and her challenging Becky. She talked about the ambush she tried to do at Becky's gym. Hey, here it is. She tried to attack Becky like in the middle of the ring, only to attack a different ginger with a Singapore cane, and Becky basically ambushed her. So they take licks at each other, and Becky's looks like as safe as possible. You know, it like if I can compare it in hits, it sounds like can that pick up? Hold on, I'm gonna talk. So like it sounds like somebody's doing like that type of a deal, you know, the whole time. Yeah, it just sounds like that the whole time. Anyway, and then like Liv gets it, and you hear like you know, like ooh ooh ooh. But yeah, they were like, Becky was trying to be as safe as possible, and Liv was just like, no, fuck it. It was brutal. Then we come back, and Liv goes on to talk about how vile Becky is, basically, and that Becky this is gonna be hard for Dylan, tongue twisters, and that Becky is gonna cheat to win, but she's ready to overcome it. Liv is such a good promo, by the way. Like, why haven't they already done something with her up until now? Did they always see her as like a tag team person? I don't know, but I'm glad they're finally doing something. Anyways, Becky comes out and then fights her back in that evenly great promo. They have a promo off for a bit, and it sounds so great. Becky said that she wouldn't okay, so Liv gives her a challenge. She's basically like, hey, why don't you come in the ring and fight me now? But this whole time she's giving the promo like she's holding a Singapore cane in her hand, like using it kind of as like an actual cane. And Becky's like, no, are you kidding me? You got a Singapore cane in your hand. You're going to use it like a cheater, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to fight you. She's like, oh, no, I brought this for you. And then she, like, throws it at her. And Becky's like, you know what? You're lucky I have a private jet to catch. And then that's the end of that. Okay. Then we have a recap of the Hill and Face men's teams from earlier. The Hills basically talk like, don't get in my way, I guess. I don't know. I skipped over it. And then Big E comes out as we go to an ad. Come back and they have their match. Kevin takes terrible bumps on his back. Stop it, man. You have a bad back. I turned it into a goat there. I'm sorry. Anyway, it ends after like, I think 3 ads when Lashley gets the pinfall victory. And then immediately Rollins stomps him. Then the Hills like roll him outside and grab the steel steps to hurt him. But then they hit Big E instead, and then him with him. Then they lift him up and do the apron powerbomb to him, and then they curve stomp him on the steps as the Hills shake their hands and like hug in the middle of the ring as the show goes off air. All right, so that was basically the whole show. Like I said, I think this is a go home show or something like that for the pay-per-view. This made me want to honestly invest into the pay-per-view. I mean, it was actually a decent Raw for once. I think there's one more Raw next week. Hold on, let me validate this. Yeah, what am I saying? Next week's my birthday on the Tuesday. Yeah, there's one more Raw. So never mind. It's go home for the go home, and it was a great show. Like, not fantastic, like, you know, one we're gonna remember 18 years from now. But it wasn't that bad, honestly, for once, and I will take that. So I think that's it. I talked about everything I'd like to on this Raw. Yeah. I got a couple more videos coming your way coming up, and I'll see you on those videos. I don't want to spoil anything. You know what? You just tune in and enjoy the ride, primarily because I don't know what I'm going to upload tonight, tomorrow, and so on. Anyway, thanks for watching. You know, if you enjoyed any of this hoopla that you just heard, you know, maybe you like the sound of this lovely voice, which is creepy to say, but you know what? Whatever. I said it already. Anyway, there's that little subscribe button. You know, a little like if you want. Your choice, though. No pressure. Thank you for watching. Like I said, I should have some uploads after this one, but if I don't, I will see you all for Dynamite review. We're going back on our normal schedule. What is our normal schedule, you may ask? I don't think I ever made it official, so I'm going to make it right here. Ready? So, either Monday or rolling over to Tuesday, we're going to have a Monday Night Raw review. And then, what's a Dynamite? Dynamite's on Wednesday, so we're going to have that on Thursdays or late Wednesday night review for AEW Dynamite. Then Fridays, we're going to have Rampage and SmackDown, which may go into Friday or Saturday, like after the shows. If there's any pay-per-views, I'll try to review them. No promises on that, though, because I don't pay for the Peacock or WWE Network anymore. What else is there? I don't watch Impact. I don't watch NXT or NXT UK or any of the above. So as of right now, there's not any reviews on that. But if you want to hear my opinion on those shows, I mean, I'll gladly do them, you know. You just gotta tell me what you want from me. I got some top 10 lists coming out eventually, some old show reviews, etc., etc. Yeah, sorry it took so long. Like I said, just procrastinated. Anyway, I'm gonna quit rambling right now. I'll hopefully see you guys Wednesday, Thursday. You know, like Wednesday at like, when does Dynamite end? I think 11. So Wednesday at like 12. No, it would be Thursday. Okay. I'll hopefully see you guys. You get what I'm saying. Wednesday going into Thursday. I'll see you guys for the next one.